Good morning. Good morning, Buckshot. Yes, Virginia's setting the tone. I had conversations with legislative body individuals in bodies. Yes. And we talked, and they seem to be under the misguided idea that Democrats just don't realize what the other Democrats are doing. And I had to remove the blinders for them. I said, "No, you're full of it. Anybody who's a Democrat right now is involved in the sedition to try to overthrow the United States of America. And their work is to destroy it and to destroy everything that made America. They've been doing it ever since I can remember. And back in the 50s, they talked about it. Back in the 30s, they talked about it. And now we're seeing the implementation, because it wasn't until now that they didn't think they had the technology and the capability to actually wrangle in everybody. But they have full control of everything through the CIA placement into the media and newspapers. What we're witnessing is a coup from people who are outside of the United States of America, who have infiltrated into our country and are going to turn it all over to China to run the show. China has been designated. We knew that right after China rolled over to Europe and said, "Look, we'll lead the charge into the New World Order." They're the ones. We're seeing it. So I've got a governor and a whole body of legislative clowns or asshats who are willing to fight the American people for the Chinese. The Chinese aren't going to spend their time and their energy and their human capital to come into Virginia and fight to take my gun. Now, it is going to be the communists who think that they're going to be able to tell the state troopers and the National Guard, "Hey, you can come get it. You can go get their guns." I've said it's okay, because the Second Amendment doesn't mean what it says it means. It means not what it says, because there are no more people. There's just registered voters. And once somebody registers to vote in Virginia, you become a ward of the representative, depending whether it's the council in a county, or it's the Senate or the Congress. That's the way Virginia is set up. You have to read the Virginia Constitution. The first 7 amendments apply to the good people of Virginia, which I am one of the good people, and I'm an elector. Or you can go ahead and suffrage. You have the right to suffer. And when you choose to suffer, you sign your name on a dotted line, you become a registered voter, and now you are not chattel. You are a ward of the person who is elected into office. So we've turned everything upside down. One of the legislators I talked to said that when they were doing the whole cleaning up the Medicaid, Medicare, or whatever it was, they tried to introduce legislation to bring back the Virginia citizen, and it was soundly defeated. So there is no Virginia citizen any longer. It doesn't exist in the Virginia Code. It was taken out in 1972. There's only the good people of Virginia, and then the wards of the legislative body. You got to choose what you are. You also have to tell them what you are. And things change when you become one of the good people of Virginia. And the only way that you're going to do it is you have to notify the registration board or the electoral board and tell them that you have to tell them who you are, where you're domiciled, and what your status or jurisdiction is. And then they'll send you back a letter acknowledging it. I don't know a single person I've ever explained this to and showed them what I did do the same thing. But I tell you what, I travel in the common way, and I have no issues. I don't get fooled with generally. Now, they've made a run at me, but the guys who made a run at me all got fired, and they all got fined, and they found themselves out of the jobs. They didn't understand it at first until my representative explained it to them. So, Buckshot, Virginia is the tone. Virginia is everything. And I do not know whether or not Virginia is going to do the right thing. Because I spent the last couple of days talking to different ones, explaining to them that in the counties, they now got to set up ordinances where they take the Second Amendment, well, and then they have to deconstruct it and define each word, and then assign values to it. In other words, you got to define what arms are, what militia are, who the people are, and to stand resolute that infringement is not allowed. It means what it says. It says do not infringe. Unlike the modern day school child who learns that, well, guns shouldn't be taken away. Just like the Virginia Constitution was changed to that that martial law should not be enacted. But we live under martial law because if you go into any court in the United States, you'll see a gold fringe on it. And by the way, Donald, that's your fringe. You are in charge. So I had a revelation. I don't know if you watched the whole video from yesterday, but Deagle has the United States losing over 200 million people. So I had this fantasy that it doesn't happen through war, pestilence, maybe migration. And the reason there would be migration is Donald Trump, when the Senate starts to rebel and they start to run roughshod over Donald Trump's defense, like we get run over. If you go to the courts in any one of the counties or states in America, you can't bring up the Constitution. You don't have any rights. And what they're going to ask him is, prove you didn't abuse your power. Hey, prove it. Prove you didn't disobey the Congress and obstruct what they were doing. And all the other stuff that they say they're going to bring in, Judge Roberts is going to go, no, that's not part of the case. I'm sorry, we're not expanding it. It's, did you obstruct them? Did you abuse your power? Well, the abuse of the power isn't there for the simple reason because there's a treaty. Now, will they allow him to offer into evidence to the Congress that they had ratified a treaty that says that there's multi-jurisdictional task force between United States and Ukraine? Or is the multi-jurisdictional task force only for the communists? Because that is a communist move. In every communist country, they bring people in from a different part of their country or a different state to push down the rebellion. Look, the people in Hong Kong are not being put down by Hong Kongian military. They're being put down by Chinese military who have no relation to them generally. They don't care. And that's what they're going to do here in America. See, they want to reduce me to a Hong Kongian where all I can do is walk around with a few Molotov cocktails and a goddamn rock and say, hey man, that's not fair, stop it. Or Palestinians. Oh, yeah, right, I'm not a Palestinian, I'm sorry. You're not going to reduce me to a rock-throwing Palestinian. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen to my neighbors. My neighbors are all saying it. Now, I do have news that over in Fredericksburg, Virginia, they had a gun show, and there were no guns to be bought. And the only thing that was going out the door were case after case after case after case of ammo. The only guns that you could buy were single shot, lever action type weapons. Not what they want to ban. There's nothing to buy anymore. Everybody's buying bullets for what they have. So the Virginia legislative body and their pie holes are about ready to catch some pie. That's what they're going to be catching. Unfortunately for them, they decided to fight forward. But I can tell you what, I don't understand why people are saying that January is the moment of truth, because I do not think Virginia can enact any law prior to July. So all the huffing and puffing and blowing that they do when they come into session in January, it's only all they're going to be doing is signing their treasonous warrants against the good people of Virginia, and the good people of Virginia have got 6 months to hunt them down till July. And at that point, you know, I guess Donald Trump better stand up and do something, because otherwise the governor has the capability of calling up the Virginia National Guard. And if anybody who's been in the military knows that the Virginia National Guard They go over to their filing cabinet, pull it open, and go, hurricane disaster relief. Okay, that's how we do that. Coordinating off an area for biological release. That's how we do that. Oh, how do we deal with insurrection? We put it down over here. They have plans. So the governor doesn't need to be talking to the general at all, because they all have the plans in their filing cabinet. They've all trained for all these different matters. They've been training. There's training going on right now. There's training on right now, active training out of Missouri, where they fly into D.C. every goddamn weekend and practice jumping in. And then they just announced that these overflights are going to continue over D.C. And nobody's telling us why they're flying over D.C. Now, Donald Trump a couple of weeks ago had to run down to his cellar. They're coming for me. They got spoofed. They got a 9/11 spoof on D.C. There's no discussing of what it was about. God damn, it scared the shit out of people when they saw missile launchers coming up out of tops of buildings all around Virginia, Maryland, and D.C. Well, that was a new one. Oh my God, in my backyard across the way, across the school there, a missile launcher pops up. I always wondered why they fenced that area off and we didn't get to see what they did, and then all of a sudden the football field was there or the soccer field. That's because they built missile silos into it. They reinacted or they reinstituted their Minutemen and the other silos that they have all around D.C. and Maryland. But that's what's going on in Virginia. Virginia is either going to stand up, and each county is going to say, okay, the Constitution says what it says. And then they're going to do what, then they can't just stop there. They're going to have to enforce the Constitution all the way around. In other words, all these sheriffs, deputies, and police officers are in these Second Amendment sanctuary counties. They've got to stop disobeying the law. They've got to follow the law. They've got to have warrants that specifically state what they're looking for and where it is. In other words, they have to have information. They can't the police officers can no longer be the informant and the arresting officer. That's unconstitutional. They've got to turn everything upside down. I don't know if they're capable of doing it because so many people believe in the black robes. They do. They absolutely appeal to authority, and they think that because Donald Trump is appointing black robe demons in the priest class of the judiciary, that somehow they're going to all of a sudden follow the rules. No, it's a facade. It's a facade to get you to relax and rest on your laurels thinking that somebody else is going to free you. It's not going to happen. It's not happening that way. We've already seen that Judge Roberts is compromised. We know that because of the Obamacare. Everybody expected him to shoot it down and it was a done deal. Not going to happen. Then the man went ahead, put on his jester outfit, and contorted in front of the emperor and said, "You're allowed to do it." Matter of fact, it is so allowed that the IRS is allowed to get into your medical files, and the medical industrial complex is allowed to get into your tax returns. That's who's in your tax returns. Why do you think the premiums keep going up according to your pay raises? Because they know how much disposable income. The communists are keeping everybody on the cortisone level, where you are at the highest level of cortisone they can get out of you, is why they can. Roberts was placed by a neocon. Oh yeah, well, the neocons are the communists. The communists are the neocons. They're playing both sides of the game. It's the Hegelian dialect. You know, thesis, antithesis, synthesis. You know, neocons are antithesis to the thesis of the communist derailed. Okay. Being barked at by Yagi Z Atio, who says, "Please follow me, bro. Don't tase me, bro." Well, welcome to the show. He's following 95 people. 9 people have followed him. That's just not the way to do it. I generally follow people when they follow me. So there you go, man. Good luck. Let's see. Where are you from? Yaggy's at as HD. Where are you from there, buddy? There's nothing about you. You know him? D Countryman, I know him. Yeah, I followed D Countryman. I thanked him for coming by the other day. So anyway, shit's hitting the fan here in Virginia. People are buying ammo. We all already have guns. We all have guns, and we've been buying and selling guns ever since I was a child. I went to my first gun show when I was 18. Well, I followed you there, Yazzo. Where are you from, Yazziazzo? Yagiziao? It's his birthday. It's the Countryman's birthday. Is he live right now? Is Countryman live and celebrating his birthday? Anyway. This might be rhetorical. I'm still trying to figure out how Hillary lost the election. Was it the Russian uranium deal? No. Was it WikiLeaks? No. Was it Podesta? No. Was it Comey? No. Was it having a sexual predator as a husband? No. Was it Uma Abedin's sexual predator husband, Anthony Weiner? No. Was it because the Election Foundation ripped off Haiti? No. No. Was it subpoena violations? Was it the congressional testimony lies, the Tesla lying? No. Was it the corrupt Clinton Foundation? No. Was it Benghazi fiasco? No. Was it pay for play? Yes and no. Was it being recorded laughing because she got a child rapist off when she was an attorney? No. Was it the Travelgate? Was it Whitewater? Was it Cattlegate? Was it Troopergate? Was it $15 million for Chelsea's apartment bought with foundation money? Husband interference with Loretta Lynch and in the investigation? No. Was it her Secret Service in her house and her disdain for classified information? No. Was it deleting 3,000 emails? No. Or having cell phones destroyed with hammers? Was it Seth Rich's murder? No. Was it the Vince Foster? No. Was it Jennifer Flowers? Assault and settlement? Was it $800,000 Paula Jones settlement? No. Was it half the United States deplorable? No. Was it underhanded treatment of Bernie Sanders? No. Was it Bill's impeachment? No. Was it the lie about under sniper fire in Bosnia? No. Was it the $10 million she got for the pardon of Mark Rich, or the $6 billion she lost when in charge of the State Department, or because she is a hateful, lying, power-hungry, overambitious, greedy, nasty person? No. Gee, I can't seem to put my finger on it. I can tell you why she lost. They didn't program the electronic voting machines properly with the ratio. They failed to set up the ratio properly. Hillary Clinton's technology team and George Soros and everybody else who runs the computer technology in voting machines did not set the ratio up properly. They did not believe. They believed the false polls. So in other words, for every 3 votes given to Donald Trump, Hillary Clinton, it counted once. What they had to do, it was Donald Trump won by 70 to 80% of the American people voting for him. So they needed to set it up to 9. In other words, for every 9 Trump voters, it equaled 1 of Hillary's voters. And Hillary would have eked on by at 9. 8 wouldn't do it. And they set it for 3 and 4 and 5 was the ratios. We know that. You can go into all the different people who study it and look at it, but that's what went on. Donald Trump won a landslide popular vote. And Hillary, being the liar that she is, sits there and tells the American people that, oh my God, I won by 3 million votes. But just a cursory checking the rolls, they found over 5 million illegal voters. Just cursory. This is an in-depth study. So, you know, Hillary didn't win the popular vote, even with the manipulation and the known people who cheated and stole. So, Buckshot, you're absolutely right. You know, I want to let you on a little secret though, Buckshot. When it kicks off here in Virginia, it's kicking off everywhere in the United States, because multi-jurisdictional task forces are going to be used here in Virginia. Virginia National Guard is not going to come out and fight for the guy who wants to render Virginia citizens, who wants to render babies. That's what this boils down to, is that the governor of Virginia plans on rendering people. And I told these Republicans, I told them straight up, I said, look, you either put ankle bracelets on every Democrat and start to process them and explain to them how they're misprision of a felony in sedition, in treason, which is a real thing. If you go along or back people who are seditious and you voted for them, that's misprison. You backed them. Everybody who donated to the governor, who signs that paper, is misprison. Everybody donated to one of those candidates who signs their name and votes for seditious bills in violation of the Constitution of the United States of America. Well, guess what? You guys are involved with misprison. I said, if you don't put ankle bracelets on these people and start to process them, they're not going to put ankle bracelets on you. They're going to render you. You're going to be Soylent Green. And you should have seen their faces. Every single one of them had that look of the moment of terror. They're terrorized. They've been terrorized. They think that they're going to be able to bargain, and they're not. There is no bargain. Even the ones who are neocons, they don't care about you being a neocon. As far as they're concerned, you're not their friend. They're going to render you. So good luck to you, to all the people who are state and congressmen here in Virginia. If you don't, after they voted in the Congress, these seditious code, you all should just get up and walk out and not go back. Go back to each one of your counties and districts and become a leader in the militia movement, because the militia movement is not only social, it is political. And you can either be opposed to the militia or be a leader in it and be the real leader you were voted in to be. So good luck with that. Good luck. And I don't know if any of them are going to do it. Some of them are talking about it. At least I've said my piece. And I'm pretty good at picking bottoms on things, picking tops on things, and knowing the future. I've managed to stay out of the rain, and I'm going to continue to do it. So, you know, that's one of the reasons I am where I am. I'm 2 mountains away. All right, guys. God bless Virginia. God bless the United States of America. God bless you, Buckshot. Good luck, new guy. I hope you enjoy the show, too. Not much of an interaction from your part, boo-hoo on my part. So, I just want to say, remember, Stream Deck pauses. Stream Deck sucks. Stream Deck.
Gentlemen, prepare to defend yourselves.
That's it. And Donald, you need to.
You're fired. Get out of here.
That's right. Every single person in the United States government needs to be fired at this point and processed. Good luck with that. Good night, Buckshot. I'll catch up with you later, my friend. God bless Buckshot.